welcome to Mums All Together. We're going to do a 20-minute standing, little bit of a cardio series with myself, Katie, and the lovely Hannah. So grab yourself a space, you don't need any props. And if you want to listen to some music while you join along with us, there's a link below so you can listen to our tunes as well. So we're going to start standing on our mat. If you still feel relatively pelvic floor compromised, you can make this standing position as narrow and as parallel as you need to. So there's no right or wrong. If you're feeling a little bit more confident, you can take this position a little wider, and you can find that external rotation at the top of the hips as well. So whenever you find this external rotation, it should feel like it comes from the top of the hips and those thigh bones really wrap around. Alternatively, if you are taking this in parallel, totally fine, but make sure that the toes and the knees are always tracking over one another. We're going to start with the arms nice and wide, shoulders down, and find a little bit of a reach through the fingertips. We're going to find a little bit of softness in the elbows, but don't worry if that goes. And at any point, you can pop your hands on your hips. We're going to slide ourselves down into a nice deep bend, but this isn't a squat. So if I turn to the side, my rib cage is over my hips, and we're trying not to stick the butt out, and we're trying not to throw our shoulders back. So you're like a piece of bread sliding into a toaster. Find resistance through the heels. Now, as you try and balance, you'll want to put the weight in your toes, but I want you to find it in the heels. Really sink down with me. That's it. Hannah, you got it? Yeah. Perfect. We're taking a little pulse and a little bend here. Pulse and bend, pulse and bend, pulse and bend. And I want you to imagine that between the top of your rib cage and the bottom of your hips is the finest gold filigree chain. So it's a really fine chain, and you don't want to snap it by popping the chest out. So you almost have to think of drawing the rib cage in towards the spine and supporting from the ground up. So again, if you need to take a bit of a narrower stance here just to feel safe and secure, bring those feet a little close together. Absolutely fine to be a little more close together. As you bend, find that resistance into the heels, but press the thigh bones back at the same time. And you should feel that by taking that little bit of an extra resistance into the heels and press back of the thighs, that your butt actually feels a little bit more alive too. Got it? Great. We're taking 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to move this leg. We lift up, we take a bend in the middle. We lift up, we take a bend out. Lift, we bend, lift, we bend. Lift, find the heels into the floor. Lift, heels into the floor. Lift, heels resist. Lift, heels resist. Lovely. Lift, find that bend. So it's a bend in both positions. But as you bend from side to side, still think of being that piece of bread in a toaster. Not fancy bread, just toast. Straight down and straight up. Good. So Hannah, I want you to think of connecting that rib and hip a little bit more. Yes. Should feel 10,000 times better / worse. Gorgeous. We're out and we're in. We're out and we're in. Just 2 more. Out and in. Hold this one out. Take a little second. We just lift the arms. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Can you go a little deeper? Lovely. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Other leg. Here we go. It's in and out. And in and out. Find the heel connection on the in and the out. Press and resist. Press and resist. Find to bring those hands to the hips if you need to. Arms in and out if you're feeling fancy. Arms can come up and down. Wherever you like to be. Oh, I like it. You feel fancy. 4 and bend. 3 and bend. 2, where's the weight in the heels? Find the thigh bones back. We hold it out. From here, we're going to stay low in this second position. I'm going to take a little twist through our feet, turning to a lunge facing this side. So we're going to tick-tock those feet and come into a lunge. Now, when you find this position, scoop the tailbone underneath, ribs and hips connect, and the breastbone is above or slightly forward of that pubic bone. And then we're going to roll ourselves back out into second. Open, open, open. Bend to lunge. 3, 2, and 1. Open, 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 bend, to lunge, 3, 2, and 1. Doesn't matter how wide the lunge is, doesn't matter how narrow the plie is. If you're here and here, that's absolutely fine. Keep breathing. We've got 2 more. So find that little tick-tock in the foot so that you are parallel as you face the side, but externally rotated as you face the front. Last one, we're going to hold this lunge. I'm going to take a little tempo change. 3 pulses and 1 step together. We pulse down. 3, 2, back foot to the front. Tap. Back, 3, 2, 1, and tap. Back, 3, 2, 1, and tap. Back, 3, 2, 1, and tap. Modify this range as you need. If it needs to be smaller, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing that says this lunge has to be enormous. Conversely, if you'd like to challenge yourself a little more, you can send yourself a little deeper. And tap. Beautiful. 3, 2, 1, and tap. Last 2, 2, 1, and tap. Last 1. Single step back, single step forward. We're forwards and back. We're forwards and back. We're forwards and back. We're forwards and back. 4, 3, last 2, last 1, hold your bend. If you can, I want you to try and get this front shin vertical. Find resistance in that heel and hinge yourself a little further forward. Hands come to hips, shoulders are down. We're going to take that tap in, but we're going to keep our body hinged forwards, abdominals supporting. In and tap, in and tap, in and tap. So the weight stays on that front leg. In and tap, in and tap. Beautiful. Keep thinking of your abdominals supporting through the whole body. Beautiful, Hannah. In and out, in and out. Chin drop a little, crown nice and long. Last 4, 3, last 2, last 1, hold it out. Lift the arms as long as you can on the diagonal and see if you can pulse down into your standing leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, find the heel, not the toes. 3, last 2, don't collapse. Hold and lengthen, go a little further, and breathe. Come back together, give your legs a little wiggle and a shake. Feeling nice and warm? Beautiful. Nice and wide into that second. Bring the arms out forward. Slide yourself down again into that toaster and just be really mindful that naturally as we fatigue and also as we try and balance, we'll put the weight into our toes. As soon as we do that, anterior chain is more active. Whereas if we can resist the heels into the floor, we can find that posterior chain nice and strong. Ready for the other side? Let's take a nice big breath in. Here we go. Let's rotate. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3. We're going to hold the lunge this side. 4, 3, 2, hold. Just take a second here. Know that naturally we tend to flare and open back to balance. So place your hand on your breastbone and make sure your breastbone is above your pubic bone or maybe even slightly forward. Scoop the pelvis underneath and find that bend. Shin bone vertical if you can. Know you can be here or you can be here, wherever it is you need to be. 3 pulses, 1 step together. 3, 2, 1, together. 3, 2, 1, together. 3, 2, 1, together. 3, 2, 1, together. Again, 3, 2, 1, together, and be mindful, where is that weight in your front foot? Because honestly, as soon as I stop thinking about it, I put the weight into the ball of the foot and my toes. I have to really concentrate to keep that front heel. Last two. Together, bend, bend. Single counts if you can. Join us as a bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. Drive through the front heel to bring yourself back to center. Rather than press off the back leg, think of really drawing and driving through that front heel. 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold it here. Weight in that front heel. Hinge onto your diagonal. Hands on hips. Take that bend. We come in, tap back. In, tap back. Even if you're fatiguing, I want you to keep thinking of lifting the abdominals, lengthening the shoulders down, lengthening the crown. Can you bend a little deeper? For the last 4, 3, last 2, last one. Hold it out. Find a reach, find a lengthen, bend. 3, 2, 1, and come up. Whew. Little wiggle and a shake. Feeling good? Let's take a little balance here. So we're going to bring ourselves into parallel. I'm going to face the side just so you can see my alignment. Hand on breastbone, knees slightly soft. And know that whenever we set ourselves up within what we refer to as good posture, there's always room for us to move and find the right spot for us. So, with your hand on your breastbone, make sure it's above or slightly forward of your pubic bone. Think of lifting out of the hips and just take a rock forward into your feet. And then a little rock back into the heels. And feel that even within being stacked and finding the right amount of weight distribution, where we put the weight in our feet also has a big impact in what happens in our bodies. And I don't know about you, but for myself, I find when I'm in the balls of the feet here, the front of my torso feels a little bit more on. When I'm in the back, my back is a little more on. Neither of these things are right or wrong, but find the spot for you. And it's probably somewhere in the middle. Ballpark, we say 60% of the weight through the balls of the feet and 40% through the heels. And now we're going to take that from side to side. So slide to the side and slide to the other side. Beautiful. Just finding where it is your body wants to sit and knowing that when you're a little fatigued, you're more likely to go into what your habitual movement is. Last 2. Last one. And find yourself where you feel is the center, from side to side and from front to back. And we're going to try just lifting the heels off the floor, and it should feel effortless, like we go straight up and then straight down. Keep the knees slightly soft, and this will mean that rather than our joints do the work, we can really enable our stabilizers to connect. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And the hardest thing here is taking just as long to lower as you do to lift. We tend to go dunk. And just be mindful if you started to stretch your legs, if your weight has started to shift. Now, if you're feeling like a real challenge, close your eyes and do the same thing. And especially during our postpartum phase, balance is really important. Our proprioception, so where we tell our bodies we are in space, shifts because you've grown a baby and then now you're holding a baby everywhere. So where you are in space versus where you think you are in space can be two very different things. And when you're getting up for midnight feedings, when you're tired and fatigued, if your balance and your ankle strength isn't there, sometimes we can be more likely to injure ourselves. So just knowing what it is that your body is likely to do allows you to find a way that you can take hold of that and you can take it where it needs to be. Last 2. Last one, if you've got your eyes still closed, as you lower your heels, open your eyes. We're going to pop our fingertips onto our hips. So I'm going to take my index finger and longest finger just onto the front of my hips. Soft knees, not too wide. And in the same way as on the floor when we take a single leg lift, this is the exercise we're going to do, only we're going to do it standing. So still think of your core being the thing that tries to lift your leg. So we inhale, we're going to put our weight in one foot and try and keep those hip bones level. Exhale and see if we can fire the thigh bone into the chest. Inhale, slide it down. Exhale across, lift. If you want to make this easier, keep your feet a little closer together. If you really want to challenge yourself in your balance, as you step out, take it a little wider. And what we want to watch for here, so why I'm asking you to pop your fingertips on the front of your hip bones, is that as we lift, generally we tend to do this and hit ourselves in counterbalance, which is a really clever thing that our bodies do if we think about it. But if we're trying to keep that framework, realistically in everyday life, when you need to go up the stairs, this isn't what you're going to do, and that's fine. But we're just training the body and the neural pathways in different ways so that when you do need that extra help, you're still strong in these planes. Last two. Good. Last one. And come back to center. Very nice. We're going to slide the fingertips forward now. Keep the knees slightly soft. We're going to keep the hips as static as we can as we pull back one elbow and take a rotation for the top of the body. And then inhale and slide forwards. So hopefully if I face the side, you should see that it looks like I just have one leg. I'm not letting my hips twist or open. Inhale, close. Breathe. I don't mind whether you breathe in or breathe out, as long as you breathe. So each movement has a breath, whether that's an inhale or whether it's an exhale. And find which version feels nicest for you. Breathing, breathing. Breathing, breathing. Good. Last two. Last one. Now we're going to combine this. So the leg lift and the arm draw back. If it feels too much, pick one and stick with that, or try a few and see where you end up. So lengthen the fingertips forward, shoulders down. As I inhale, I'm going to prepare. As I exhale, I'm going to slide my leg up and my elbow back. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. And I still want that shift from side to side to be as imperceptible as possible. And as I'm lifting leg and arm, I want to be very careful that I'm not actually going this way. I'm staying up and forward. Oh, Hannah, I don't even need to demonstrate now. Gorgeous. If you feel that you want a real challenge, as the elbow goes back, take the eye line with it. And it's another dimension to that stretch. Beautiful. Last two. Last one. And come all the way back to center. We're just going to finish with a nice little lateral stretch. So we've rotated, we've moved left to right, we've gone from open to close, from open to parallel, and back again. So take a breath in, lift the arm, exhale, and reach. And I like to think of reaching my fingertips down towards my ankle here. Inhale, exhale, lower, inhale. Find the place that feels good for you along this plane. So again, if I face the side, sometimes going directly to the side doesn't feel quite as good. So what happens if you take your fingertips across towards your toes? You might find you get a little bit of a release for the back of the SI joint, maybe the side of the hip. Or what happens if maybe rather than take it to the front, you actually take it to the back. You get a front of hip stretch, you get a little bit of extension through the back. Again, none of these are right or wrong, but find the spot that feels best for you. And today for me, I think that's reaching forward and just finding a little bit of extra space through my back. Full breath in and out. One more each side. Gorgeous. Last one. And before we finish, we best take a little quad stretch out too. So pop one foot into your hand. Now, sometimes it helps to hold onto your ear, send your arm out, or if you're next to a bench or a wall, feel free to hold onto a bench or a wall. My biggest tip for a quad stretch is not to think of just getting your heel to your glute, but to think of sliding your thigh bone back and scooping your pubic bone forward. And then with that heel, work out, do you need to find a little bit more space towards the glute, or maybe you need to find a little space away from the glute just to find that stretch across the whole of the front of the thigh. Breathing as you go, full breath in, full breath out, full breath in, full breath out, full breath in, and full breath out. Swapping to the other side. Again, if you need a balance aid, grab a chair, a bench, whatever you need. Sometimes it helps to put the hand on the ear or send the arm out to the side. You might like to send the arm to the ceiling, whatever feels good for you. And remember that it's not just the heel to the glute. Thigh bone back, pubic bone forward. Find the space between the heel and the glute. Open shoulders and breathe. When you're ready, relax and go and have a wonderful rest of your day. We love to hear what you think, so drop us a comment below. Tell us what you love, tell us what you want to see more of, and we'll see you guys next time.